Welcome to our journey. Today we uncover the tragic secrets of the greatest Maya empire. Once, Chichen Itza stood as a shining miracle of wealth and wisdom in a barren wasteland. But today, its giant stone pyramids sit in absolute silence, swallowed fully by the dark jungle. Why did this great city fall so suddenly? Was it a cruel drought or a secret betrayal? The terrifying truth is carved in stone and painted in crimson. Stay with us to reveal this dark past. In the 9th century, the mighty southern Maya cities suffered a sudden and devastating fall. Thousands of desperate refugees carried their heavy baskets, fleeing straight towards the northern lands. They walked for endless months under the harsh sun, searching for a safe haven in the dry Yucatan plains. According to ancient historical records, the exhausted travelers finally found a brilliant miracle. They found massive natural sinkholes filled with fresh blue water, perfectly hidden inside the limestone. These stunning sacred wells, known as cenotes, became the beating heart of a brand new, powerful city. They proudly named it Chichen Itza, which directly translates to the mouth of the water sorcerers. This absolute abundance of endless water in a dry land quickly attracted massive human crowds. Brilliant architects and highly skilled builders arrived, carving the perfect white limestone blocks by hand. Without any metal tools or wheels, they confidently lifted heavy stones using human strength. Slowly, magnificent temples and grand plazas began rising, high above the flat jungle canopy. Chichen Itza quickly became the unrivaled trading hub in ancient Mesoamerica. Wealthy merchants traveled from distant lands, bringing shiny green jade and vibrant tropical feathers. The bustling markets happily traded precious cacao beans, highly valued as the local currency. The wide streets were filled with sweet, burning couple incense and the booming sounds of heavy leather drums. Unlike other ancient empires ruled by a single tyrant, this city formed a unique government. Modern historians suggest they utilized a brilliant system called Multepal, meaning joint rule. A powerful council of noble lords and high priests shared the absolute authority together. This clever political design prevented devastating civil wars and brought a long era of peace. The ruling lords wore magnificent jaguar pelts and massive headdresses of green quetzal feathers. They sat on perfectly carved stone thrones, proudly watching over their rapidly expanding domain. To visibly prove their divine power, the elite council built a massive central stone pyramid. This grand structure, known as El Castillo, was a true masterpiece of advanced math and astronomy. It featured exactly 365 steep stone steps, mirroring the complete solar year. Twice every year, during the spring and autumn equinox, an incredible visual illusion took place. As the afternoon sun slowly dropped, sharp triangular shadows fell right upon the northern staircase. The dark, creeping shadows perfectly connected with a giant carved stone head resting at the bottom. It created the striking image of a massive, feathered serpent slithering straight down from the heavens. Tens of thousands of faithful citizens gathered in the Grand Plaza to witness this magical event.
We are your children.
They completely believed the great god Kukulkan returned to Earth to personally bless their holy city. The elite high priests stood at the top, proudly raising their hands to accept the glorious divine light. This absolute blind faith of the common people made the ruling council seem totally invincible. Elite eagle and jaguar warriors stood guard on the steep steps, holding sharp obsidian weapons. They wore intimidating animal masks and loudly tapped their wooden shields to frighten any foes. For generations, Chichen Itza held supreme dominance over the Yucatan Peninsula. Absolutely no foreign army ever dared to challenge the fierce defenders of this mighty city. Yet history clearly shows the greatest threat to an empire rarely comes from foreign army swords. If you were a powerful lord of this city, would you feel truly safe behind your high stone walls? The true danger was silently brewing in the dark skies above and the ambitious hearts within. By the late 12th century, the endless blue skies completely stopped delivering seasonal rains. A devastating megadrought, the worst in 1,000 years, began to slowly choke the dry region. The harsh midday sun mercilessly baked the white limestone earth, cracking the ground and destroying crops. Without the proper rain, the massive green maize fields quickly transformed into fields of dead yellow dust. Severe hunger slowly crept into the crowded neighborhoods, causing absolute panic among them. The city's famous underground water reservoirs began to drop to dangerously low levels. People stared at the empty skies, desperately begging the rain god Chak to bring a heavy storm. The elite ruling council held emergency meetings, desperate to maintain their absolute control. They frantically ordered the high priests to perform more extreme rituals to please the angry spirits. The sacred Cenote, once a symbol of life, transformed into a terrifying place of ruin. Bound and helpless captives, painted entirely in ceremonial blue, were forced to the deep well's edge. They shivered in absolute terror before being cast alive into the dark, watery abyss. Heavy gold jewelry and precious jade stones were also tossed into the water as offerings. But no matter how much vital essence was sacrificed, the merciless blue skies remained completely dry. The starving citizens began to heavily doubt the divine power of their once mighty leaders. If the angry gods no longer listened to the high priests, then the council's authority was clearly fake. Dark whispers of dangerous rebellion began to echo through the dusty, starving city streets. This rising anger provided the perfect opportunity for a deeply jealous, ambitious ally. Just to the west lay Mayapan, a smaller allied city that always lived in Chichen's shadow. The fierce warlords of Mayapan had secretly built a massive army, waiting for the perfect moment. They saw the devastating drought and the starving population as a divine signal to finally strike. Armed with sharp wooden spears and heavy obsidian clubs, the rebel forces began their quiet march. They moved swiftly through the dry jungle, heavily fueled by political greed and burning hatred. The elite warriors of Chichen Itza, weakened by severe hunger, were taken by complete surprise. A brutal and devastating civil war erupted right inside the sacred central plaza. The terrifying sounds of clashing stone weapons and tragic cries echoed across the giant pyramids. The fierce rebel warlord, his face smeared with dark war paint, violently smashed right through the temple doors. He swung his sharp obsidian club, brutally vanquishing the remaining elite temple guards. The Grand Ruling Council, once viewed as untouchable gods, was violently dragged into the dirt. Beautiful jaguar pelts were totally torn to shreds, and precious jade ornaments were ripped away. The magnificent feathered headdresses of the high priests were crushed under the ruthless rebel feet. massive fire quickly spread through the wooden roofs of the sacred temples, lighting up the dark night sky. Have you ever wondered how quickly a starving population can completely turn against their rulers? The defeated lords were forcefully dragged through the dirty dust, totally stripped of their heavy gold. They were forced to watch their beautiful city burn before facing the ultimate final judgment. The Mayapan rebels swung their sharp stone weapons, showing absolutely no mercy to the elite guards. Tragic crimson stains slowly flowed down the steep white steps of the central pyramid of Great Kukulkan. The rebel warlord proudly stepped right on the sacred stone throne, roaring loudly into the burning night sky. He held a stained obsidian club high above his head, declaring a totally new era of power. The surviving common people hid inside their small wooden huts, shaking in absolute fear and panic. They had prayed for heavy rain, but the angry gods only delivered a terrifying storm of ruin. By the time the morning sun slowly rose, the once glorious capital city was totally destroyed. Thick black smoke covered the clear blue sky, casting a dark and heavy shadow over the giant plazas. The victorious Mayapan leaders immediately claimed all the remaining food and stored water. They completely believed they had conquered the greatest and richest empire in the entire ancient world. However, the arrogant rebels had made a massive, fatal miscalculation in their greedy quest. They vanquished the ruling lords, but they could not magically bring back the essential seasonal rain. The terrible Megadrought continued to burn the land, totally ignoring the new political kings. The sacred Cenote remained incredibly dry, offering no relief to the thirsty conquerors. Without a stable and trusted government, the complex international trade networks totally collapsed. Wealthy merchants refused to visit the dangerous city, totally cutting off the vital food supply. The newly crowned Mayapan warlords soon realized they had completely conquered a totally dead city. The beautiful stone pyramids could not provide any food, and the heavy gold could not buy any water. Severe hunger and disease quickly spread among the rebel soldiers, breaking their fierce military pride. The grand political victory suddenly felt like a terrible curse from the ancient Maya gods. Nature had clearly proven that it was the only true and absolute ruler of the Yucatan land. The conquering rebels slowly realized that absolutely no human army could defeat a dry climate. Driven by extreme thirst and absolute severe hunger, the remaining survivors finally gave up. They tightly packed their few belongings and quietly walked away from the completely ruined temples. The major migration back into the deep, dark jungle marked the tragic final end of a brilliant empire. For several long centuries, the magnificent white pyramids stood totally empty beneath the sun. Without any humans to aggressively clear away the thick plants, the wild forest slowly returned. Massive, dark green tree roots powerfully broke right through the perfectly carved limestone blocks and strong stone walls. The once totally glorious and incredibly noisy Great Ball Court became a quiet animal home. Fierce jaguars confidently walked across the very same grand plazas where high priests once used to pray. Thousands of black bats flew freely out of the giant stone observatory every dark evening. The brilliant Maya civilization did not completely fade away, but their golden age was over. Small, scattered rural villages fully replaced the massive metropolitan cities of the ancient past. The traumatized survivors carried the dark and heavy memories of political betrayal away. The mighty Mayapan alliance eventually formed their own brand new empire to the west. But they could never truly match the incredible architectural magic of Chichen Itza. The tragic, haunting ruins of the magnificent pyramids served as a giant, dark warning sign. When arrogant leaders desperately try to violently control nature, they destroy themselves. Even the absolute most brilliant mathematical equations could not predict a devastating drought. The incredible stone serpent shadows still magically slithered down the steep stairs twice every year. But tragically, there were absolutely no loyal worshippers left to see the glorious illusion. When the Spanish conquistadors finally arrived centuries later, they found a totally dark place. They stared in absolute shock at the massive stone monuments buried deep beneath the thick green vines. Local indigenous guides quietly whispered very dark legends about the deadly blue water well. Modern archaeological digs finally uncovered the broken human remains down there. These terribly tragic victims clearly show the absolute failure of a greedy political group. The incredibly fascinating story of Chichen Itza is not just ancient history. It remains a highly relevant and powerful lesson for our entire modern global world today. We currently face our very own severe climate crises and bitter political fights today. Could our incredibly massive concrete cities eventually suffer the exact same tragic end? Ancient history quietly whispers that absolutely no civilization can outrun nature. The brilliant stone walls of El Castillo have clearly witnessed the amazing heights of human genius. They have also seen the very deepest and darkest levels of greed and terrible cruelty as well. Today, millions of international tourists carefully walk across these tragic ancient plazas. They happily marvel at the incredibly complex mathematics built into the buildings. But tragically, very few completely understand the deeply tragic story hidden beneath the stones. The truly tragic ghosts of the betrayed ruling lords still quietly wander the completely empty corridors. The deeply desperate cries of the painted sacrificial victims echo from the dark water well. And the furious, victorious roars of the greedy rebels have been completely silenced by fatal time. As the bright red sun slowly sets over the Yucatan Peninsula, a profound and deep truth emerges. Absolute true power does not ever come from massive pyramids or incredibly sharp stone weapons. It completely relies on a highly delicate balance between human ambition and wild nature. When that critical and fragile balance is broken, the absolute devastating end is finally near. The truly magnificent civilization of Chichen Itza learned this tragic lesson far too late. They proudly reached for the divine and shining stars, only to be forcefully dragged right down into the dirt. Their amazing architectural legacy survives, but their ancient empire is totally gone. We must carefully remember their tragic story, honoring their genius and avoiding all their flaws. The heavy and absolutely merciless wheels of human history are constantly turning around. Chichen Itza proves that no empire can defeat nature. Do you think their proud leaders deserved this tragic end? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Could a modern city face the exact same fatal fate today? Remember to please like this video Share it and subscribe to our channel for more ancient history.